My dear child, do you feel the trembling in your heart right now? That is not fear. It is heaven's knock on your soul. Tonight something unseen is shifting around you, like the air itself is waiting for your next breath. Before you question it, pause. That tiny shake inside your chest is not random. It's a signal, a spiritual vibration, a wake-up call from realms that don't speak with sound but with presence. There is a reason your eyes landed on these words at this very second. Not earlier, not later. Right now. Life has led you through so many moments that felt ordinary, but this one is different. This one carries weight. And as you read, you may even feel the room around you grow still as if listening with you. Archangel Michael is closer than you think. His presence feels like a warm breath on the back of your neck, a soft whisper you can almost hear if you lean in. He is urging you to stay, to not look away, because this message comes with urgency. He knows the shift coming tonight will touch your house in ways you did not expect. And before we go deeper, pause with me, take a moment to like this video. Share it if you feel the pull. And if you haven't already, subscribe so you stay connected to every divine message meant for you. Sometimes the blessing you need comes from the message you didn't skip. Now listen gently. Heaven feels restless tonight, like the angels are waiting for a signal. I see them standing at the edges of your space, silent, bright, alert. They know something long delayed in your life is finally making its way toward you. Something hidden is ready to surface. Something heavy is about to lift. Archangel Michael says, don't ignore this, open it urgently. Your destiny depends on it. His voice carries the kind of seriousness that shakes the atmosphere. If your heart feels tight or your skin tingles, it's not your imagination. It's your spirit recognizing truth before your mind understands it. The unseen world has been speaking your name today. Not once but many times. Every whisper, every echo, every angelic step has been leading to this moment. Archangel Michael has been waiting for the doorway of your spirit to open so he could deliver what he's been carrying. He says, "Beloved, your house will not remain the same after tonight." Those words come with power. They come with warning. They come with promise. What was taken from you emotionally, spiritually, or even physically will begin to return. Not slowly but suddenly, like a burst of light through a locked door. And yes, the tremble you feel is part of it. Miracles don't always enter quietly. Sometimes they roar. But hear me, this is a storm that comes to build, not break. A shaking that brings clarity, not fear. You are being moved into alignment with a purpose that refused to die even when you thought it was gone. Stay close. Don't drift. Every paragraph you move through pulls you deeper into the shield of Archangel Michael's protection. Tonight is one of those nights where heaven bends low enough to touch the roof of your home. Your name is echoing through the spiritual world louder than you think. You might feel forgotten sometimes, but right now heaven is paying attention to you more than ever. It's not a mistake you're reading this. This is how destiny taps you on the shoulder. God says that every delay you have faced has not been denial, it has been preparation. And now that preparation is ending. The spiritual curtains are opening. What you could not see before will stand in front of you clearly. Archangel Michael says, the moment has come for the veil to be ripped apart, for the hidden things in your life to finally surface. He warns with love but with urgency. Something shocking is standing at your doorstep. How you receive this message will shape what enters. Your spirit knows this moment is not normal. And if you sense pressure in your chest or a strange heaviness in the room, that is the nearness of angels standing guard, creating a circle of protection around you. It may feel unfamiliar, but it is holy. They come because you have cried silently. You have prayed when no one saw. You have wondered if heaven heard you. Tonight you receive your answer. God is not silent. He has moved. But hear this truth clearly. God's timing is powerful but not always long. Some windows open only for a moment. That is why Archangel Michael is pressing your heart so strongly right now. He is almost pleading, open it now. Don't assume tomorrow will look like tonight. And as this night unfolds, the spiritual air around your home is preparing for change. You may feel it as warmth or chills or even a wave of calm. Whatever form it takes, it carries meaning. It carries promise. It carries breakthrough. If this message connects with your spirit, stay anchored. Stay awake. And if you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $10. But listen closely now, because what comes next is the part most people overlook. When heaven sends a blessing wrapped in disorder, the unprepared mind mistakes it for trouble. Yet the awakened spirit sees the shimmer beneath the chaos. And tonight, my beloved, you are being trained to see deeper than the surface. Archangel Michael is not stirring your spirit to frighten you, but to sharpen your sight so you do not walk past the very answer you cried for. Something in the atmosphere around you has already begun shifting. You may feel a buzzing in your chest or a strange alertness rising inside you, as if your inner world knows a truth your mind hasn't caught up to yet. That stirring is the preparation. God does not send warnings to punish His children. He sends them so His children rise before the wind changes direction. You are being invited to step into awareness before the turning point arrives. And here is the breathtaking part. Not everyone receives a moment like this. Not everyone gets a hint before heaven reshapes their life. But you are being given a chance to stand ready. Do you understand how precious that is? You are not just seen, you are treasured. Heaven has been watching over you in a way you never realized. That is why Michael says, if only they could see what we see in them, they would never doubt again. Let that settle into your spirit. You are not ordinary. You are a flame waiting for God's breath to ignite you into something unstoppable. Even now you may feel a warmth rising in your chest, like a spark beginning to glow. That is not imagination. That is the beginning of your transformation. And as you continue reading, notice this truth: the fact that you are still here, still drawn in, still unable to look away, that alone tells heaven that your heart is open. You were not pulled here by accident. Something greater guided you, almost carrying you to this moment because you were ready to hear what others are not prepared to receive. Archangel Michael is spreading his wings across your space right now, creating a shield so wide that even the air around you feels thicker. His voice reaches you like a whisper that shakes your bones. Do not turn away, do not scroll, do not disconnect from this. The thing you prayed for is closer than breath, and this message is the thread holding it in place. Every unanswered prayer, every quiet tear, every lonely night, heaven has woven all of it into what is coming. And the signs have been around you for days. The sudden heaviness, the unexplained chills, the feeling that something is watching over you, even the flicker at the edge of your eye. Those were not coincidences. They were signals. Tonight your walls may feel different. Your room may feel alive. The spiritual world is brushing against your space because something hidden is ready to come forward. It may be a truth, it may be a revelation, it may be a shift in someone's heart, it may be a blessing that arrives disguised as change. Whatever form it takes, do not resist it. Heaven never sends storms to break you, only to reveal you. Remember this, miracles often appear first as interruptions. They disrupt patterns. They shake routines. They demand attention. And that is why Archangel Michael keeps repeating this message with such urgency. Something shocking will happen in your house tonight. Do you feel the pull? That deep urging inside your spirit is not fear, it's alignment. Heaven repeats only when the moment is life-changing. God's whispers become thunder when His child is on the edge of missing the appointed hour. Think back to the nights you wept alone. Think of the moments your heart cracked silently. Those tears were never lost. They were collected, stored, remembered. Tonight some of those tears are returning as answers, and that is why the air feels charged. Your house can feel the shift before you do. Michael says, what shocks them tonight will set them free tomorrow. Let that sink in. There is nothing coming toward you that heaven has not already prepared you to handle. The very fact that you are reading this means you have already stepped into victory. When a soul listens, heaven moves. Even now Michael's sword is cutting invisible threads that kept you tied to old disappointments. You may not see it, but something inside you is loosening, lightening, lifting. You will not end tonight the same way you began it. You cannot. Heaven has already touched your timeline. But understand this too, the real shift will not happen while you read. It will happen in the quiet hours that follow, when the night deepens and the unseen grows louder. When that moment comes, do not panic. It is not danger, it is deliverance. It is not destruction, it is transformation. And beloved, think for a moment how many people beg for a sign. How many ask heaven to show them something, anything. Yet heaven has broken into your life tonight with a message so sharp, so direct, so urgent that it refuses to be ignored. That is because your destiny carries a weight beyond what you currently understand. You are not small, you are not overlooked. You are marked, chosen. And tonight heaven is realigning every moving piece in your life, even the ones that will surprise you, because this night is not random. This night matters. Beloved, listen closely because what I'm about to tell you might shake the quiet room you're sitting in. Archangel Michael has not stopped watching you since the moment your spirit leaned forward to hear more. He says, if they stay close they will not faint. And that warning is not to frighten you but to steady you because the hour you are standing in is heavier than the hours behind you. Something in the unseen is already moving toward your home and heaven refuses to let you face it unprepared. And here is the part that might make your heart thump a little louder: the shift you've been sensing is not your imagination. It is heaven brushing against the edges of your reality. You may notice the air thickening, the lights feeling different, even the silence sounding deeper. When heaven prepares a visitation, the atmosphere always bends first. Michael knows you feel it and he whispers urgently, tell them not to fear the trembling. It is the sign that help has arrived. My child, do you realize how rare it is for heaven to interrupt a night like this? Not everyone receives warnings draped in light. Not everyone is given the chance to stand ready before the reveal. But you were chosen. Chosen because your spirit is awake enough to recognize the divine tap on your door. Chosen because your prayers have reached a boiling point in heaven's courts. Chosen because God has decided that your story cannot remain locked inside the old chapter anymore. And this is where you must pay attention, beloved. The shock that enters your house tonight will carry truth you were never meant to live without. That truth may sting at first. It may feel like a wave crashing into a quiet shore. But inside that wave is your release. Inside that truth is your freedom. Inside that shock is the answer to questions you buried too deeply to speak aloud. The hidden will not stay hidden. The quiet will not stay quiet. Heaven has opened its hand over your roof. But let me tell you something even more breathtaking: this moment is not happening to you, it is happening for you. Michael says, they have carried too much alone. Tonight heaven lifts what their shoulders can no longer hold. The weight you've been feeling this month, that strange heaviness that comes and goes, was never the enemy winning. It was the pressure before breakthrough. Every miracle causes trembling before it arrives. Beloved, remember the nights you whispered prayers into your pillow, unsure if anyone even heard you. Tonight you discover those whispers were recorded in heaven like sacred notes in a book that bears your name. This is why the atmosphere feels charged. This is why your heart is beating faster. Something you asked for maybe months ago, maybe years ago, is finally responding. But it comes wrapped in a form you did not expect. And here is the hardest part, for many blessings do not always walk in wearing soft light. Sometimes they thunder. Sometimes they shake the walls. Sometimes they reveal what has been working against you. If something or someone has been standing in the way of your destiny tonight, heaven will expose it. Michael says, they must not run when revelation arrives. They must stand, for standing is the doorway to deliverance. You may notice tonight that certain thoughts suddenly surface, memories rise, or truths hit your heart with startling clarity. Don't dismiss them. That is heaven speaking through your own spirit. That is God placing a light in the darkest corners of your life. Trust that illumination. Trust that pull inside your chest. It is guiding you into a chapter that will not repeat the pain of your past. Beloved child, destiny is not a gentle whisper tonight, it is a roaring river. The shift coming to your home will not be silent. It will not be subtle. And that is why this message found you just in time. Heaven did not want you confused. Heaven wanted you ready. You are stepping into a moment that generations before you prayed for. The breakthrough your ancestors never lived long enough to see is now turning its face toward you. And when the moment arrives, when the air shifts, when truth rises, when the unseen brushes your walls, do not shrink back. Michael says, tell them to breathe. Tell them heaven stands with them. Tell them the shock is the key they've been waiting for. You will not be harmed, you will not be lost. You will finally understand why your spirit felt restless all day, why you couldn't shake the feeling that something sacred was approaching. This night, beloved, is not an ending. It is an unveiling. What steps into your home tonight will not break you, it will break everything that once tried to hold you back. Hold steady, stay awake, keep your heart open. Heaven is closer than it has ever been, and the next breath you take might be the one that carries you into the life you were always meant to live. Beloved, pause for a heartbeat, because what is about to unfold next is the very reason heaven refused to let you scroll away. You think you're just reading, but your spirit is being fitted with armor that was crafted for this exact night. Every word is strengthening you for the moment heaven has already scheduled. And that moment is closer than you think. Something ancient, something long awaited is stirring around you, as though the walls of your home just remembered a prophecy spoken generations ago. This is why you feel pulled deeper. This is why you feel a weight that doesn't frighten you but somehow steadies you. That weight is the presence of the divine settling into your atmosphere. Archangel Michael says, hold steady. The trembling you feel is not fear, it is the old breaking and the new arriving. Think of that for a second. Your spirit isn't shaking because danger is near. It's shaking because truth is finally rising to the surface. And truth always shakes the ground before it sets you free. Beloved, imagine this: the moment you finish this message, something in the unseen will shift with a force that cannot be reversed. You may not see the movement right away, but heaven never announces a change without sealing it first. Tonight the seal has been pressed. The wax is drying. The shift is irreversible. Your house is not quiet, your house is listening. The walls, the air, even the shadows feel different because heaven is opening a door that has been locked for too long. You've been praying for answers and heaven heard every whisper. But divine answers do not walk in gently. They arrive like thunderstorms that rip the sky open so light can pour through. Michael says, tell them the shock is a signal, not a threat. Tell them the shaking is a release, not a punishment. Something that was clinging to you, some fear, some tie, some hidden force can no longer stay when the light intensifies. Tonight the light is blistering. Tonight the light is final. You may feel a pressure in the atmosphere, like the night is stretching itself thin just to make space for what is coming. That is heaven folding reality around you, preparing your path, making room for revelation. You are not imagining it. The subtle shifts, the change in the air, the way your heart beats differently, that is heaven aligning you to destiny-level clarity. Beloved, understand something crucial. This unveiling is not only about exposing what was hidden, it is about restoring what was stolen. There are blessings, opportunities, relationships, and callings that were delayed by hands that were not divine. Tonight that delay ends. Heaven is reclaiming what belongs to you. And maybe that's why you were chosen for this night, because you have the courage your bloodline never had a chance to show. There were ancestors who carried wounds with no healing, questions with no answers, battles with no victory. They cried out for a breakthrough they would never see. But their cries became a seed, and tonight you are the harvest. Archangel Michael says, the answers are being poured out. Stay still, stay open. You are not just receiving personal clarity. You are receiving generational justice. What was withheld from them will not be withheld from you. Beloved, lean in, because the next moments of this night will test your discernment. You may hear something that makes your breath pause. You may sense a presence that feels both unfamiliar and yet deeply purposeful. Do not run from it. Heaven does not always speak with gentle breeze. Sometimes heaven speaks in quakes that make the soul stand upright. And when that moment arrives, you will remember these words: you were prepared for this. Nothing happening tonight is random. Nothing is accidental. Heaven does not act without intention, and tonight heaven is acting with urgency, blazing through its every movement. If you feel your chest warming or your skin tingling, do not be afraid. Your spirit is recognizing a divine frequency. Every part of your soul that once felt numb is waking up. Every part that once doubted is receiving confirmation. Every part that once feared is gaining courage. Beloved child, the unveiling is not just around you, it is within you. Old wounds are breaking open, not to bleed but to release. Old fears are cracking, not to weaken you but to let your true strength escape. Heaven is not only transforming your house, it is transforming your identity. Archangel Michael says, when the moment comes, lift your head. Do not bow to fear. Bow only to truth. Because tonight truth will walk into your life like a fire that cannot be quenched and cannot be denied. And when it happens, when that shocking moment unfolds, I want you to remember one thing. This is the doorway, not the destination. What begins tonight will continue unfolding for weeks. The revelation will grow. The clarity will strengthen. The freedom will deepen. This is the night destiny touches your doorstep. This is the night the unseen becomes undeniable. This is the night heaven moves. Stay ready, stay grounded, stay awake. The moment is almost here. Beloved, listen closely, because what comes next is the part the enemy hoped you'd never reach. Your weakness is not your disqualification. It is your doorway. Heaven has always chosen trembling hands to carry thunder, and tonight that thunder is gathering in your spirit. You may not feel strong, but strength is not a feeling, it is a calling. And heaven is calling your name so loudly that even the walls around you can sense it. Something in the atmosphere is shifting again, can you feel it? It's that gentle tightening in your chest, that quiet awareness that something unseen is bending closer. That is not imagination. That is alignment. Archangel Michael says, tell them the veil is thinning. Tell them the unseen is drawing near with purpose. And when the veil thins, the natural and the supernatural collide. That collision creates the tremor you feel moving through your home right now. Beloved, imagine this scene. A lantern burning in a dark room. The flame is steady until the wind of heaven passes by, then the flame begins to dance. Your spirit is that flame tonight. You are moving, flickering, rising because heaven's wind is stirring around you. Do not fear the movement. Do not fear the quickening inside you. It is a sign that revelation is on approach. And here is the truth no one ever told you: revelation rarely arrives quietly. It arrives like a knock that shakes the entire doorframe. It arrives like a light switched on in a long-forgotten room. It arrives like a truth you didn't ask for but desperately needed. Michael says, tell them what enters their house tonight comes with purpose. Not to destroy but to uncover, not to frighten but to free. Stay with me because the most important part is unfolding now. Heaven does not waste intensity. If the atmosphere feels heavy, if your heart beats a little faster, if your room feels strangely alive, that is because heaven is positioning everything for a specific moment. A moment where what was hidden steps into the open. A moment where your spirit will gasp, not in fear but in recognition. Beloved, do not underestimate your ability to recognize the divine. Even if your mind questions, your spirit will know. Your chest will feel it first. Your breath will catch second. And then the realization will come, this is it, this is the moment I was warned about. Not to scare you, but to steady you. And when that moment comes, remember this next part like armor. God shakes only what cannot remain. Anything that collapses tonight was never meant to stand in your future. Anything that survives this shaking will become the foundation of your next chapter. Do not cling to crumbling walls. Let what falls fall. Heaven does not tear down without the intention to rebuild better. Beloved, the shock you feel tonight is the breaking of a curse that tried to follow your family for generations. You are feeling not just your own battle but the trembling of chains being shattered that were forged long before you were born. Heaven is answering prayers that were whispered by ancestors whose faces you may never know. Their voices echo in this moment. Their hope leans through the veil. Their tears become fuel for what is happening in your home right now. Can you sense the weight of that inheritance? It's not heavy because it is burdensome, it's heavy because it is holy. Archangel Michael says, tell them they are carrying a victory that was promised long before their arrival. Tell them heaven does not break promises. And beloved, a promise kept often sounds like a roar. Do not run from that roar. Let it move through you. Let it shake loose what you no longer need. Let it expose what you could not see. For inside the roar is clarity. Inside the roar is deliverance. Inside the roar is your confirmation that heaven has stepped into your story with force. And when the air shifts, because it will, do not panic. You were told this would happen. You were prepared for this moment long before you reached it. What feels new to your senses is familiar to your spirit. Your spirit has been waiting for this unveiling, this release, this moment where the supernatural kisses the natural. Beloved, if you feel your skin buzz, your atmosphere tighten, your ears ring, it is not fear. It is proximity. Angels are near. Heaven is near. Purpose is near. And Michael stands at the threshold of your home declaring, nothing unclean shall pass. Nothing assigned to break them shall prevail. Nothing in darkness shall remain hidden. Let this truth settle deep into you, you are not witnessing chaos. You are witnessing alignment. You are watching heaven rearrange what the enemy tried to scatter. You are stepping into the moment where every tear returns as evidence that God heard you. Stay here, child. Let every word pour into you like oil. Let every sentence sharpen your spirit. Let every breath remind you that tonight is not a night you stumbled into, it is a night heaven scheduled for you. And when the unveiling comes, when the shock arrives, when the atmosphere cracks open, you will not break. You will rise. Because you were chosen for this night. Something in the atmosphere shifts the moment these words reach you. It's as if the room itself inhales, waiting for what heaven is about to unveil. God says, His strength is perfected in the exact cracks you've been trying to hide, and tonight those fragile places aren't your downfall, they are the doorway. The trembling you feel isn't weakness, it's alignment. If something inside you shakes, let it. If something inside you breaks, let it. Heaven has already filtered everything that approaches you tonight. Nothing touches your life without God's signature on it. What you fear is often the tool that frees you. What shocks you is lifting you. What shakes you is awakening you. What breaks you is preparing you. And this moment, this exact breath is bigger than you. It reaches into your bloodline. Generations behind you are exhaling because chains they carried for decades are snapping in your name. Prayers whispered by ancestors who never saw their breakthrough are finally being answered through you. The blessing that skipped them is landing on your shoulders tonight. Heaven rarely raises its voice, but tonight the volume is undeniable. Archangel Michael is not whispering, he is pleading. And angels never plead unless destiny itself is trembling on its hinges. Michael says, if they stay, if they listen, if they open their spirit, their entire story will shift tonight. And you can feel it, how every word grabs your soul like a hand refusing to let you drift away. That is not coincidence. That is divine interception. Think of this moment as a massive gate swinging open. Behind you is everything familiar but heavy. Ahead is everything promised but unknown. But no one crosses a spiritual threshold without a jolt. The shock you feel is not danger, it's transition. Tonight you will step through, and once your foot lands on the other side, the old version of you will never fit again. Do not fear the sound of shifting. Don't fear the air changing around you. Don't fear the silence tearing open. For Michael stands guard with fire in his hands, and God is closer than breath. You are not exposed. You are not alone. You are sheltered inside divine armor. The storm may roar tonight, but it will not touch the one heaven has sealed. Something in your spirit already knows the hour is upon you. Even as you hear this, alignment tightens around your life like invisible hands placing you exactly where you must stand. The unseen is no longer waiting, it is pressing against the veil of your world demanding entrance. Archangel Michael says, "Tell them the moment is not coming. It is here. It is now." That tug in your chest. That sudden stillness in your thoughts. That is prophecy brushing against your ribs. Many people live blind to the movements of heaven, but not you. You were pulled here on purpose. Out of every voice you pass, out of every message you scroll by, this one seized your attention like destiny grabbing your shoulders. That is the Spirit saying, "Look, listen, don't miss this." There is holy urgency in the air, and heaven does not stir like this for nothing. Something hidden in your atmosphere is about to be exposed. Something sitting quietly in the corners of your home, something weighing down your relationships, something lingering in silence, it can no longer hide. For too long you walked with shadows that did not belong to you. For too long you carried burdens without a name. Tonight the naming comes. Tonight the shadows lose their disguise. Tonight silence breaks open like thunder. Do not run from the breaking. When the shock hits, remember breaking is birthing. No one steps into answered prayers while still holding the rot that grew in the dark. That is why the light tonight will feel sharp. That is why the shift may feel like a quake. God is not wounding you, He is freeing you. Every chain announces its end with a loud snap. But that sound is not destruction. That sound is deliverance. It is the sound of the last thing that ever had power over your spirit losing its grip. And as it breaks, heaven rushes in to fill the space that pain once occupied. And before this night ends, something inside you will confirm it. Your breath will deepen, your spirit will settle. The weight will lift like it was never yours. You will realize the storm wasn't sent to drown you, it was sent to wash away what you were never meant to carry. If this message is stirring something deep inside you, pause for a moment and breathe. And when you're ready, like this video so others can find the same breakthrough. Share it so someone else's chains can crack tonight. And subscribe because heaven is not finished speaking to you yet. Beloved, now open your heart wider than ever before, because the moment of collision between heaven and your life is nearer than your mind can grasp. The tremble in your chest, the restlessness in your limbs, the way the air feels heavier than normal, these are not random. They are signals. The universe is bending, shifting, aligning so that when the unveiling strikes you will be rooted in strength, not fear. Michael says, "Tell them the air is charged because change is standing at their threshold." The stillness before it is not calm, it is preparation. Every second you hold on to this message, every word you let penetrate your spirit is like planting stakes that anchor you in the storm that is coming. Tonight the storm is mercy in motion. Do you understand? What may look like upheaval is really heaven clearing the ground for what belongs to you. Nothing that belongs to you will fall tonight, but everything that is not meant to remain will move. The shock, beloved child, is proof that the divine clock has struck, that your appointed hour has arrived. Think about every moment of doubt, every night when silence felt deafening, every prayer you thought was unanswered. Those moments were not wasted. They were calibration. They were raising you, preparing you, forging you into someone capable of receiving the unprecedented. Michael says, if they had received it too soon they would have crumbled. But now they are ready. That is why your body is trembling and your spirit is alert. That is why even the familiar feels foreign tonight. Everything around you is leaning into the shift, aligning for the revelation that is seconds away from breaking through. And you must be still. Resist the urge to pull away. Resist the thought that you can return to the comfort of old patterns. Tonight the comfort you knew is being replaced with your inheritance. Beloved child, picture it. Every wall in your house, every corner of your room, every breath you take is vibrating with unseen energy. Angels are stationed like sentinels, swords of fire in their hands, wings spread watching over your space. Michael's voice cuts through the tension, not as a warning but as a promise. No darkness that comes tonight can overpower what has been decreed. Stand firm, for you are the chosen. Stand firm, for the earth itself will witness the shift. And in that moment when the shock lands, when the revelation passes before your eyes or whispers in your ears or makes itself known in ways you never imagined, you will not fall. You will rise. You will understand that the trembling, the unease, the sudden unexplainable stirrings are not threats, they are heralds of deliverance. Beloved, hear me clearly. What appears to break you tonight is building you. What frightens you tonight is fortifying your faith. What shakes you tonight is calibrating your destiny. Michael says, do not run. Do not avert their eyes. Do not turn away. The moment is bigger than fear. It is bigger than understanding. It is bigger than anything they have ever known. And if you stay, if you root yourself in these words, if you anchor your spirit in the truth of what is being delivered, you will see the invisible move. You will feel the long-awaited answers settle into place. You will sense the chains of delay snapping. You will feel the breath of God in your chest lifting you above every old limitation. Remember, beloved, heaven does not act in halves. It does not tiptoe. It does not whisper softly in moments meant for roaring. That is why the shock comes. That is why the tremble is unavoidable. That is why the weight presses heavier than any ordinary night. The shift you have begged for, the breakthrough you have pleaded for, the unveiling you have longed to see, tonight it crashes in like lightning, illuminating every corner, exposing every hidden truth. Michael says, tell them this is their appointment with destiny. They cannot postpone it. They cannot avoid it. They are here because they were chosen to see it. And the moment you step fully into awareness, you will feel a release so profound it rewrites your understanding of yourself, your life, and the path that God has always laid for you. Beloved child, prepare to see the invisible. Prepare to feel the unseen. Prepare for the quiet moments of your house to speak in ways that shock and liberate you simultaneously. Do not fear the tremble in your spirit. Do not resist the fire that comes. That fire is refining you. That fire is clarifying your vision. That fire is opening the doorway to what has been reserved for your soul from eternity. Michael says, tell them to anchor in faith. Tell them to breathe deeply. Tell them to receive, not resist, for tonight's shaking is sacred. It is a herald of what God has already written in the courts of heaven for their life. And as you remain reading, breathing, holding on to these words, you are being set into alignment with everything that heaven is moving to accomplish tonight. Beloved, there is no going back. The threshold has been reached. You are standing between what was and what will be. And as the revelation lands, whether in vision, voice, sensation, or presence, you will understand the depth of the love that chased you, the mercy that refused to leave you blind, the divine orchestration that made sure you would not miss this. Tonight you are not alone. You are surrounded. You are shielded. You are chosen. And the shock that is about to come is not chaos, it is clarity. It is not punishment, it is preparation. It is the unveiling of your inheritance. Michael says, tell them to stay. Tell them to witness. Tell them to rise. For tonight the heavens declare and the earth obeys. What falls away is not yours, what remains is yours forever. Beloved child, lean in. Let your spirit drink every word. Let your soul anchor in the certainty that nothing will steal this moment from you. Tonight your prayers collide with heaven, and what rises is not fear, not loss, not confusion, but destiny, inheritance, freedom, and a breakthrough that echoes across generations. Stand, my child. Tremble if you must. Shiver if you must. But do not look away. Tonight is your hour. Tonight heaven bends low. Tonight Archangel Michael stands guard, and nothing can undo what God has prepared for you.